never let go. Something you said 10 years ago. They're canceling you. Everybody's supervised. They're putting us realize like it's formaldehyde. We're dead inside. Let this go. All right, welcome back to another edition of Music Monday from the podcast Nurture the Mind. I am your host, Cole Poots, and we have another music reaction. Maybe you guys could have guessed, if you've been on my channel for a while, one of the ways in which I built up a lot of my subscribers that I currently have was from 3 years ago, to be specific, 3 summers ago, summer of 2021. That's when I started listening to and reviewing and reacting to Falling in Reverse, and that generated a lot of steam on the channel. And as a lot of you guys know, ever since that point in time, I have become such a big supporter of Ronnie Radke and a big fan of what he does and what Falling in Reverse does as a whole. Now, we just got another new single that is eventually going to be on the album Popular Monster that's coming out in July. So, about a month and a half, month and like 3 weeks, something like that. And the feature has Jelly Roll on it. I've done one reaction of Jelly Roll on this channel. As you guys know, I'm not huge into country, but I've gained some more respect for it as I've gotten older, as the years have went on. So it's going to be interesting just to see how these two kind of mix up with each other. We already kind of, we know what Ronnie Radke, his energy is. We know what he brings to the table. So how is that going to collab with the likes of Jelly Roll? From what I've heard of Jelly Roll, I do like him. I can't say it's my favorite stuff. I'm not saying it's something that I constantly go back to and listen to all the time. But I think what he does is important. I know the people that follow Jelly Roll and are avid fans of his fan base, I would say they're pretty passionate to support him, just like the people that follow Ronnie Radke and Falling in Reverse are very passionate as well about those guys. So yeah, there's not much else to say. When I went through the first song that was released off of this album, the first single, Ronald, I did not watch the music video. This time I am going to go through the music video just to get that visual element. If I feel like there is more to gain from the lyrics, then I'll probably go through it a second time, but I won't watch the music video the second time. So we'll just play it by ear. We'll see what happens. Either way, you guys know that I'm always excited to listen to Falling in Reverse and Ronnie Radke. They're really good at what they do. You can't argue that, man. I think they do a lot of things really well. Very talented group, very talented lead singer, musician, artist, creative, Ronnie Radke. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it. I believe the song is called All My Life. Yes, it is. And it's got the feature Jelly Roll by Falling in Reverse, coming off their new album that's going to release in July, Popular Monster. Let's freaking go.
Low, I've been sober, I've been fighting, searching for my love in all the wrong places. Word up on the streets is I got a bad reputation. Yeah, I may have true blood, but that was true love.
We're starting with country, but we're forming into something else. There we go. Now it's a little bit heavier. Jelly roll. Hey, let's him out. Let's go. Bro, this is catchy as hell. Who's the girl that he's facing, though? I love that heavy element to it. It's not full-bore country. They still got those riffs, bro. Those descending riffs. Okay. All right. Interesting. All My Life. Featuring Jelly Roll. Yeah, dude. It's so interesting to think, you know, after listening to that song and watching the music video. Before this video is over, I'm going to go back through the song one more time and not watch the music video because I want to try and get some more of those lyrics. But I'm just thinking about the two singles that have been dropped so far. So you had Ronald, which is just super heavy, but there was also the rapping, the flows. You had Tech Nine come in there and assist in that regard. Ronnie did his thing, a lot of screaming, but then also had harmonies at some point throughout the song. And then right here with this song, very much country vibes. And then to bring in a guy like Jelly Roll to assist him. But at moments throughout that song, you still had the heavy metal rock and roll feel that Falling Reverse is known for. It's really hard to pinpoint these guys, Ronnie. It makes me think of a band like Sleep Token, because Sleep Token, from the songs that I've heard, they're genre bending. They're pulling influences from all of these different genres. And I feel like Falling in Reverse, Ronnie Radke, I feel like they do the same thing. I feel like that is one of the reasons why they are so captivating, is because it's experimental, it's different, it's new, it's refreshing. In a world of music where it is so full of, you know, we receive things that are so redundant, like we're listening to the same style of music over and over and over again. You have artists, you know, that put out a project that sounds like something that they've already done. This is different. This is new. And it feels like so far off of these two singles that whatever gets, you know, if there's another single that comes in the future before the album gets released, or if they just wait, if this was the last single, I feel like on this album that we're going to get from Falling in Reverse, I feel like we're going to get a bunch of different sounds because, like I said, these first two tracks that have been released have been entirely different from one another. And I like how Ronnie is pulling in some features, you know, guys that are completely different from one another. Tech Nine, like I said, you know, he's kind of like that underground rap hip hop king. But if you know Tech Nine, you know, coming from the Midwest, he was also heavily influenced by Corey Taylor and Slipknot. And Tech Nine actually has a song that features Corey Taylor. Jelly Roll, you know, Jelly Roll is into country. That's mainly his space. But we know that Jelly Roll also likes hip hop, likes rap. So there's all of these cross type of influences that make it really interesting when you try and fit that into a song, when you try and fit that into an album. I just appreciate Ronnie and Falling in Reverse for going that route, for trying something different, for trying to blend all of these worlds together. Because I feel like that's what music truly is. I feel like the creative process is truly like that. You should never let anybody tell you, oh, hey, no, those things won't go together. It's not going to be received well. Like, who knows, man? You might as well try. You might as well try and blend some things together. So as far as content, context of the song, the lyrics sounds like, once again, I feel like a familiar theme for Ronnie and Falling in Reverse. He's talking about how he's made these mistakes in his life, how he's always kind of fucked up, you know, trying to redeem himself right now. And it's a similar story and background from what I know that Jelly Roll has experienced as well. I believe Jelly Roll, did he go to prison as well? Definitely got involved in drugs, and Ronnie went through that same experience. Ronnie was wrapped up in drugs and also had to go to prison, and ultimately those events in his life is what led to him changing his life for the better. So yeah, I gotta go back and I gotta listen to more lyrics, so that's why I'm gonna just do the audio now, like strictly just the song, no visual. You know, something else that Falling in Reverse is always known for, Ronnie Radke, is their music videos. The music videos are insane. There's just so many details in there. Editing style, probably like CGI. Like in that video, you have Jelly Roll, who all of the sudden grows into this freaking mammoth, and he's walking around the town and eventually destroys the bridge. Ronnie Radke, to start the video, comes in on this white horse. He's just flying down gracefully, and he's dressed in all white. And then when he steps into the saloon, then all of a sudden he returns to black. It's like this battle of good and evil, probably something that Ronnie feels like he has battled with his whole life. You know, do I transcend and do I give into the good, the angel that's sitting on my shoulder? But then probably from his past, from his upbringing, probably his home life, and then definitely when the drugs and all the shenanigans got introduced and going to prison, there's that devilish side that's probably always trying to pull him down and trying to anchor him down. And even for us people who haven't gone through something similar like that, I think we can all relate, you know. I mean, I truly believe that in this life, we're always going up against the forces of good and evil. And you have to be really conscious of, you know, what's going on at any given time, what's going on in your mind, what's going on in your life, what's going on in the world. There's always this power struggle. And it's not so easy to say that I'm going to give into the light side. I'm going to go talk to the angels. I'm going to talk to God, and I'm going to get right, and I'm going to transform things. I think, you know, that's the flaw of being a human, is we tend to give into sin. We give into peer pressure, you know, whatever the vice is, whatever the thing is that we've struggled with. For me, you know, probably if I had to pick, you know, one big thing, it's always probably been mental health and having some anxiety that's going on up in my head and some OCD issues. It's something that I always relapse on, and I don't really understand, you know, why that has to happen. If it's like a genetic thing or if it's an upbringing type of thing, the whole argument of nature versus nurture, it's probably a little bit of both. Sometimes I wonder, like, is my brain just entirely fucked and all the chemicals are out of whack, and just based on whatever the given day is, you know, I might have a struggle. It's super frustrating, man. We all have these battles, and I think it's all unique to that said person. But this is a way where we can all relate, right? Like, if it's not the same thing, it is still something that you're struggling with. And I think it's something that for all of us. Maybe it's something we struggle with our entire lives and kind of bounce back and forth. But, this is something that I need to get better at. And I think everybody in general just needs to get better at. It's like oftentimes, like if I'm going through a little bit of a struggle mentally, and maybe there's no reason for it to appear once again, like I will get really harsh on myself. I will get really down on myself because I'm like, oh man, like it should be fucking perfect. Like I started going to therapy 5 years ago. Like, why have I not figured this issue out? But I don't think that's the right way to approach it. I think we should learn how to somewhat appreciate our struggles, and definitely you don't always have to talk about your struggles, bitch and complain and moan, because then you're giving these struggles power over you. If you are going to talk about it, it should be in somewhat of a positive life. Well, what am I doing to try and overcome this thing? And to be honest, this song kind of sounds like an anthem for that. Just striving to get better, because they were both saying, I've fucked up my entire life. I'm trying to right my wrongs. I'm trying to get better. You know what? Like, it's going to take time. Back to what I just said, me sometimes thinking that, like I've been in therapy for 5 years. Like, why is my OCD not fully gone away? Well, there was one thing that my therapist said to me, I don't know how many years ago, in one of our sessions, and it was really profound because I was saying that same thing to her. I was like, I don't understand why I can't defeat this. I don't know why I can't get past it fully. And she's like, Cole, like you have to understand. I think at the time I was 22. Yeah, because that's when I started going to therapy, and now I'm 27. And she's like, you have to understand that you have spent the last 22 years building up these patterns in your head, having, this anxiety, this OCD, this panic, reinforcing those ideas, those belief systems, those thought patterns. So it's irrational to think that in the short time that we've been working together, it's fully going to go away. Even in my experience, even as you get older and you get better at handling it, again, our brains are so powerful and are so hardwired from the past, whether it is that nature and that nurture, it's probably a combination of both, that even as time goes on and you get better at navigating those moments, they're still going to pop up. It's almost like it's your brain's natural instinct is to go into that direction and to freak out like that. So this just sounds like, and maybe I'm totally wrong, but this is just off the first listen, it seems like a positive message of, embracing those struggles, accepting those struggles. How do we get better from our struggles? How do we move on as a person and not let these things define us? We may have made mistakes. We've all made mistakes. We've all made mistakes, and we're going to continue to make mistakes. Your mistakes don't define you. If anything, mistakes and failure is what leads to growth down the road, potential down the road. If you don't let those things limit you, they can only teach you less lessons. Now that probably all sounds like a cliche, but it's the fucking truth. Why are cliches true? It's like the same reason for why stereotypes exist. It just is, man. It's just a fact. So anyways, that's my initial thoughts. For the sake of the video and the podcast, I'm going to go through it one more time without the music video. Let's just check out the song, maybe look into the lyrics a little bit more and see if there's anything to add.
Yeah, I've been high and low, I've been sober, I've been fighting, searching for my love in all the wrong places. Word up on the streets is I got a bad reputation. Yeah, I may have truth so good, but there was true love. Got a story love everywhere I look. Every time I go right, everything goes wrong. I said this stuff real close to real, so don't want to say that phone. Because all my life I've fucked up and I can't deny. I do my best to get it together. With the told you once I thought you were really tired. I just can't live like this forever. With the yeah, I've been up and down, I've been through hell and back. I've had my share of drama, baby, please cut me some slack.
It's so catchy and it sounds so good. I really like this, dude. It's such a good mix of instruments, man. There it is, and it gets heavy. It's country, but it's metal. Like, what is it? You can't identify it. Maybe just a few more things to say. I think this song, honestly, going through it a second time, I think is very simplistic in nature. Honestly, Jelly Roll was kind of repeating what Ronnie Radke had already said in his verse and in his lyrics and his singing. A few more things that I caught on to, Ronnie talking about how when he gets close to love, he self-destructs, he self-sabotages. Man, I don't know if everybody's done it. I think maybe, though, we've all done it from time to time. I know people that are really bad with it. I can tell you guys, at least on my end, so many situations where I was dating a girl or I was talking to a girl and then, they got really scared and they ended up self-sabotaging the relationship and running away. There's one girl in particular, somebody that I dated back in 2021. She comes from an upbringing where she had a lot of trauma. She witnessed a lot of crazy shit. Actually, her dad committed suicide. I don't know, it was probably like maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know the exact time. But she was so used to chaos, and I just remember we were talking for like a month and then we ended up dating for like another month or 2 months. So in total, it was like 3 months. But I remember really like the first argument that we had or the first issue that we had in the relationship that needed to be addressed, something we had to work through. That's where she completely shut down, run away, and ultimately, broke up with me and then ghosted me. Like, wouldn't even talk about it in person. And it's crazy how, again, whatever you went through in your life beforehand, when you were younger, depending on what your upbringing was, if it was really hard, if there was, a lot of struggle that you had to get through, a lot of those people, they grow up and they become, fully functioning adults, and yet, they'll sabotage anything good that comes into their lives. It's like they can't accept it. They can't embrace it. They're so used to things being so fucked up that if things start to go well, if they get some momentum in their lives, they think that something's wrong. It's like, oh my God, this is scary. This is new. This is unexplored territory. So let me fuck up this good thing so I can go back to what I know, which is chaos, things being in disarray. So, like I said, I think the song is very simplistic in nature, but there's some hidden gems in there. The thing that I like the most is I just like the sound. I think that Ronnie and Jelly Roll are a really good mix together. Not something that I would have ever anticipated. Not a collaboration that I would have saw coming until now, because even before this song came out, I was watching an interview on YouTube and it was Ronnie, and he was talking about Jelly Roll and how they had met and how they really vibe well together. Ronnie was saying, he's like, I can tell that Jelly Roll is a real dude. He's like a real fucking person, and through all the stuff that he's went through, like it just shines through his personality. And Ronnie's like, those are the people that I connect with. those are the people that I respect. Like, if you're just an authentic person, he's like, those are the types of people that I want to be around. And he's like, I'm really good at reading people. And he's like, I could just tell that right away with Jelly Roll. So I'm actually not surprised now that they're doing a collaboration together. But, Ronnie, he's at the top, man. That is truly like my firm opinion. I just think he's doing it better than everybody else that's out there, like in his domain, in his department, like his type of music. Even though he does a lot of different types of music, I just think he's killing it right now. And I think there's really no surprise why Falling in Reverse and Ronnie Radke are the biggest that they've ever been. And if they stay on this path, it's like, I don't know, they're probably going to go down, in my opinion, as one of the greatest bands of all time, and definitely one of the greatest frontmans of all time. If you're new here, or if you are coming onto the channel multiple times and watching my videos, consuming my content, please do one of four things. You don't have to do all four things, but I always ask that you do one of the four. So number one would be like the video. Number two would be subscribe to the channel. Number three would be please share the message in some form, in some capacity. Spread the message, talk to other people, share it on social media. Or the fourth thing would be to comment in the comment section below. If you're talking about on the audio platforms, like maybe you could leave a review for the podcast. I don't know how that necessarily runs, but do one of those four things for me. That would mean a lot, just to push my content out there to more people, so this channel and this podcast can just continue to grow and flourish. And then last thing that I always mention as I end these videos, as I close things out, I'm always repping First Form Supplement Company. They have amazing products, great products, really anything that you need. There's certain ones that I take, and you can find that in the description below or in the comment below, the pinned comment. So I could definitely talk about my experience with taking their products, but I have a general website link that you guys can click on and go to, and you can buy any of their products. Now, when you go through that link and you buy a product, I get commission, but that's not why I bring it up. The main reason that I bring it up is, outside of doing this, outside of being over here on the YouTube channel and the podcast, I am a personal trainer. That is my full-time job. And, I'm always preaching to people about how there's so many different ways that you can take care of your health, your wellness, your overall just sense of well-being, and the things that go into that. It's supplementation. It's your diet. It's your water intake. It's like, how much are you moving? Are you working out? Are you hitting the weights? Are you hitting cardio? For your mind, are you putting good information into your mind? Are you consuming podcasts, things that are informational that might teach you a lesson? There's just all of these different areas of life, that we need to be focusing on. And it can be overwhelming sometimes because, we all have a certain bandwidth and a certain capacity, of things that we can deal with. But I'm just saying it as a reminder, hey, supplementation is also one of those important things. So if you're curious about it, if you want to look into it, go to that link. Check in with their products, see which one suits you best for your goals and what you're trying to accomplish, and just try it out. It's like the least thing that you could do. It can't hurt, right? If it doesn't work, if you don't see results, don't go back to them. I'm pretty sure they have a return policy too, that if you try it out that first time and you don't like it, you don't see results, you can actually return their products or get your money back. So anyways, guys, that's it. That's the conclusion. Thanks for coming over here. If you're watching it on YouTube or if you're strictly consuming the audio, of the podcast, I love you guys. See you later.